Body language. Secrets for dating, job interviews, and selling. Written by Jaden Haywards. Narrated by Jason Burkhead. Chapter 1. Interpret the signs the right way. We apply body language consistently to our lives to convey the desired information, to accomplish positive criticism in our lives, and to get whatever we need. We utilize this dialect constantly, but we may not know about it. Additionally, this dialect doesn't just include the mouth, but the entire body too. And that's why it can be so complicated to read sometimes. Can you try and envision the magnificent energy of applying it? With it, you'll have the capacity to translate other individuals' inward feelings regardless of whether they're not straightforwardly communicating it. You'll likewise have the capacity to alter your conduct to fit the circumstances. You'll motivate them to like and believe you. What words can't do, nonverbal communication can. In this section, we will investigate the different body signals or developments passed on by individuals in various situations. How about we get started? Suggesting interest. It is vital to know whether individuals are attentive to what they are saying, else you are simply squandering your opportunity and wasting time. Simply envision you are a science educator. You have dependably been occupied with science, so you accepted that your students feel an indistinguishable interest in the same thing as you. Be that as it may, would they say they are extremely intrigued? Are you showing techniques that are good enough to excite them? Unless you can perceive the diverse body signals your students are passing on, you could never know how they are adjusting to the topic. Here are some of the body language gestures and signs by people who are interested in what you are saying. They keep eye contact over 60% of the time. The more wide open the eyes are, the more intrigued the individual is. Indeed, a man usually maintains eye contact more when tuning in than when talking. Their heads are slanted forward. They are gesturing their heads. Such activities implies that they're concurring with you. That implies they're mindful and listening to you. Their feet are pointing towards you. They smile every now and again. Be that as it may, observe. Not all smiles pass on a similar inclination. An elliptical grin isn't real. It is utilized to demonstrate friendliness. The lips are withheld totally once more from the upper and lower teeth, framing the oval shape. This is normally the grin that numerous individuals display when they fake to appreciate a weak joke. Signs that they are more open. When you were a youngster, have you at any point attempted to unravel what your folks' facial expressions mean when you request that they get you another toy or to take you to Disneyland? A grimace would likely be a no, but a nod and smile would influence you to jump with happiness. As you become older, it is turned into a need to have the capacity to identify if other individuals will agree with your choice or proposition. This is a capacity that will genuinely help mediators, workers, and even lovers to prevail in their endeavors, since they would have the capacity to change their approach early enough to conform to a particular circumstance. There are insights to demonstrate if individuals are more responsive in tolerating or approving your thoughts. Some of these are: their hands are level on the table, their palms are open. If they're stroking their jaw, they're thinking. They may agree with you after carefully contemplating what you say. Their heads are slanted forward. They are nodding their heads. Their legs are separated from each other. They smile regularly. They unfasten their coats. This shows cordiality and eagerness to team up with you. Their hands are open. This likewise demonstrates being genuine. They put their hands in their chest. This implies transparency and passes on earnestness, trustworthiness, or devotion. In any case, a lady putting her hands in her bosom is a cautious position and may demonstrate that she is amazed or shocked. Signs of what they are thinking. Individuals think constantly. Be that as it may, diverse people make distinctive body movements in view of the sort and power of their reasoning. Some of their activities are lined up here. They take their glasses off, after which they may either 1. Clean them, or 2. Put the tip of the edge in their mouth. They're getting themselves some time to think things over. An edge in the mouth would likewise show that they require more subtle details before they listen more. They're squeezing the bridge of the nose. Sometimes with the eyes shut, individuals doing this are occupied with profound idea. They might be associated with a troublesome circumstance where they know about the outcomes that may happen because of settling on essential choices. They put a palm underneath the bottom forefinger, pointed and stretched out along the cheek, while different fingers put underneath the mouth. This motion shows contemplations that they are reprimanding or threatening other individuals. They walk with the head down and hands behind the back. Individuals who walk along these lines are likely stressed over their issues, and they are considering approaches to solve them. Signs they are about to take action. People who are focused on getting something done and highly motivated may not only be recognized by how they speak, their actions actually speak louder. They usually walk at a fast pace as they are swinging their arms loosely. They tend to put their hands on their hips, often with their legs apart. They walk around with their hands on their hips. This may show a spurt of vitality at the moment, but can also be followed by slowness. Signs that they are defensive or being secretive. The mouth may have its secrets, but certain signs could show that people are hiding something they don't want others to discover. Like, they walk with their hands in their pockets. They cross their arms. They hide their hands any way they can. So yes, hiding hands can mean something like that, but don't fall into the trap of jumping to conclusions. I once had someone tell me I was defensive or hiding something when I crossed my arms, when all I was doing was standing in a certain position and listening to the teacher. There were no real emotions in my mind at the time, so the fact that she said that about me surprised me. Signs of boredom. Envision your supervisor is completing an introduction, and all workers are required to listen to him or her. You saw that a large number of them are clicking their pen, tapping their feet, and drumming their fingers. After the gathering, you hear the manager ask them, "Did you appreciate the introduction?" They would state, "Certainly." But you know better. Their activities demonstrate exactly how exhausted they are. It feels great to know nonverbal communication. Isn't that right? A few signs passed on by individuals who are exhausted and uninvolved include head bolstered by the palm, regularly joined by dropping eyes. They demonstrate mindlessness by gazing at a clear space, eyes not squinting, or by glancing around as often as possible. They are pulling their ears. This may likewise connote that they want to interrupt someone while that person is talking. They are clicking a pen restlessly. They are tapping their hands or feet. They yawn unendingly. Their feet or other body parts are indicating the exit, as though they are extremely anxious to take off. They move anxiously to their seats. This could likewise imply that they are not comfortable or quiet, or they may very well be depleted. They fold their legs and continually kick their foot in an extremely slight movement, especially done by females. In case you're the one making the introduction and you observe that your meeting is one in which people are showing indications of weariness, don't begin talking quicker or louder. Control from such acts regardless of whether your nature instructs you to do as such. Rather say, "Hang on. I feel that I'm losing your attention. What's up?" Hear what they have to say. You may find what's really keeping them from staying alert during your speech. Maybe they're just tired, or they heard it all before, or they have something else on their minds. Signals exhibiting confidence, authority, and power. Individuals with a high level of confidence are regularly more prone to be effective than the individuals who have low confidence. Also, the individuals who show authority or predominance more often than not end up as the winners since they intuitively influence other individuals to feel weaker. So, how would they move? They keep up firm eye to eye contact and once in a while look at other body parts underneath the nose. They talk with a low pitch, moderate pace, deciding arched voice, chin tilted upwards, chest anticipated outwards. They keep up an erect stance in case of standing or sitting. They sit backward, with the back of the seat filling in as their help or shield. Individuals who sit in this position are known to be bossy and forceful. Their hands are grasped behind the back. Their hands are set close to the hips. Their feet are on the table. They have a firm handshake, palms pointing downwards. They recline with the two hands supporting the head. They move with accuracy and with no wavering. They walk firmly with compelling arm swings. They join the fingertips of the two hands together. Little finger of the two hands combined, ring finger of the two hands consolidated, etc. Palms of the two hands are not in contact with each other. The higher the hands are raised, the more certain they are. They put one leg over the arm of the seat they're sitting in. When they do this, it might likewise imply they are passionless, uninvolved, or unconcerned. They might show the I couldn't care less state of mind. Also, you can announce your mastery over other individuals by rising or raising yourself from them. It isn't abnormal to see taller individuals being responsible for the circumstance. Pick a seat or area where individuals should gaze upward on you. They will subliminally think they are weaker and can, without much of a stretch, be controlled. Signs of nervousness and tension. Anxiety can be a mood killer. In case you will be met in a network show, hello, who knows? You ought to know about your body signals. Signs passed on by anxious individuals include they clench their fists, their hands or feet are tapping. The base edges between fingers of one hand are held with the base edges between the fingers of the other hand. This is the position of the hands while supplicating. Hands are interlocked. Tissue amongst thumb and forefinger of one hand, joined with substance amongst thumb and pointer of another hand, and squeezing each other. They talk in a piercing, quick pace, stammering voice. They shriek to cover and battle their anxiety. They are regularly making a sound as if to speak. One hand is gripping the other hand, wrist, arm, or elbow. Their arms are at the back, where one hand is squeezing the wrist or arm. Their arms are crossed, however, they are grasping their biceps. Their legs are crossed while standing. They have a withered handshake, palms pointing upwards. Their eyes are avoiding you. Their lower legs are bolted or stuck to each other. At the point when joined by grasped, clenched hands, this may demonstrate that they are keeping down compelling feelings or sentiments. They don't smoke. What? You thought individuals smoke since they're apprehensive? Be that as it may, it is certainly the inverse. Individuals who smoke just do as such when they are not strained at all. When you hear them say, whew, it implies they are beforehand apprehensive, yet are currently alleviated in light of the fact that their issues have been comprehended or they have survived a major test. Signals made when they are doubting you or are suspicious. It's occasionally hard to expect whether you are being viewed as a dependable individual or you are being thought of as somebody who is full of it. Here are a few pieces of information that may show doubt. They see sideways from the side of one eye. They're rubbing or touching their eyes or ears. Their hands are tucked in their pockets. Their arms are traverse the chest. Their glasses are dropped in a lower bridge of the nose, with eyes peering over them. This may demonstrate that you are being inspected nearly, to the point that you get cautious. There's one sign you, for the most part, do when you are simply the one questioning, rubbing or touching your nose. This intuitively happens when you are uncertain of how to answer a basic inquiry or when you are worried of other individuals' responses to your answer. Signs made when they need assurance. A few people have this issue when they feel that they are continually making the wrong choices. Would it be a good idea for me to truly purchase this? Maybe I should sit tight for a deal. Would I be able to show signs of improvement at work after I leave this organization? These individuals do certain activities to promise themselves that they have made the correct decision, that there is no reason to worry. They stick a pin in their mouth. They crush the chunk part of their hand. They rub the back of the seat while sitting. They clamp their hands and thumbs touching against each other. They bite their nails now and again. They touch their throat for ladies. They wiggle the coins in their pockets for the individuals who are worried about their wealth. This is what people do when they want to comfort or reassure others. A lady offers consolation to another lady by holding both of her hands and at times embracing her. The facial appearance of the comforting woman matches the grave state of mind of the other woman. A government official who might want to promise you that he will complete a great job when chosen in broad daylight office would shake your hand with his correct hand and cup it with his left hand. How to see lies. Individuals lie for a wide variety of reasons. It might be to conceal a blame or shame, to abstain from irritating other individuals, to encourage someone, or to be saved from negligible problems. It might likewise be because of more genuine mental issues. For example, capricious imagining or outrageous vanity. Here are a few signs that are shown by individuals when lying. They talk in a shrill, quick-paced, stammering voice. They are always gulping and make a sound as if to speak. They attempt their best to abstain from having eye-to-eye contact. This implies especially to individuals who need to abstain from talking about a specific theme. They look elsewhere and see from the side of their eye. They stick their tongue out to damp their lips. They are flickering quickly. They rub their throat. Their arms are traverse their chest. They are continually touching parts of their face, particularly the mouth, ear, and nose, as though covering them. They scratch their head or the back of their neck. Their postures are diving and shaky. Their hands or feet are tapping. They dependably look down with shrugged shoulders. They are always moving, starting with one place, then on to the next, or changing their positions. They are anticipating parts of their body, feet to an escape course or entryway. Chapter 2. About mirroring. Mirroring is the conduct in which one individual intuitively mirrors the motion, speech, or language or disposition of another. Mirroring regularly happens in social circumstances, especially in the presence of friends, partners, or family. The idea regularly influences other people's thoughts about the person that is displaying mirroring practices, which can prompt the individual building trust with other people. Mirroring is the subtle replication of someone else's nonverbal signals. This idea happens in ordinary connections and often goes unnoticed by both the individual mirroring and the person who is being mirrored. The actuation of mirror neurons happens inside the person who starts to reflect another's movements and permits them a more prominent association and comprehension with the person they are mirroring. And in addition, allowing the person who is being mirrored to feel a more grounded trust level with the other person. It is different from cognizant impersonation, under a premise that while the last is a cognizant, commonly unmistakable push to duplicate someone else, mirroring is intuitively done and usually goes unnoticed. Mirroring frequently starts in the early years, as toddlers and kids copy their parents without intentionally trying to be the exact same. The capacity to emulate someone else's behavior enables the baby to set up a feeling of sympathy and, along these lines, start to comprehend someone else's feelings. Followed by this is often a greater sense of empathy as well. The newborn child keeps on building up association with other person's feelings and consequently mirror their actions, the way they talk, the way they walk, etc. Mirroring can build up affinity with the person who is being reflected, as the likeliness and nonverbal motions enable the person to feel more associated with the individual showing the mirrored behavior. This is why you often see old couples look like each other. For years or even decades, they showed similar facial expressions, tones, and actions. They have developed similar opinions and adapted to each other's behaviors, often subconsciously copying that same behavior. As the two people in the circumstance show comparable nonverbal signals, they can trust that they share comparable dispositions and thoughts too. Mirror neurons respond to and cause these developments, enabling the people to feel a more noteworthy feeling of engagement and having a place inside the circumstance, correspond with their moods. On the off chance that a man you're reflecting has a lot of issues, don't come to him with a cheesy smile and say, "Don't stress over it. We should watch a movie with the goal that you'll forget about your worries." He's in a grumpy mood. He anticipates that you will feel for him, to identify with him. Match his attitude to start with. At that point, say something like, "I feel terrible for you. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know." All he needs in this moment is to be with someone who has an indistinguishable mindset from what he has. An expression of caution, however. If somebody has some huge emotional baggage and you reflect that individual, you risk really engrossing his or her feelings. So do this action in a generally safe circumstance. Building trust. A definitive objective of mirroring is to build trust. It's the time when you and the people you're mirroring feel so close and in sync with each other that you have a feeling that you've known each other for quite a long time. So how might you know whether you've done that? Mirror them. Match whatever trademark, value, or conduct they have that you might want to duplicate. After some time, touch your nose or fold your legs. If they do the same thing, mission accomplished. You've effectively brought down their protections to the point where they are more responsive to your recommendations. In fact, they are mirroring you subconsciously. You can also build trust regardless of whether a man you're mirroring is far away. Here's the means by which to do it. 1. Just chill. Clear your brain of every antagonistic idea and make a bond with a person you wish to reflect. Make his picture so genuine and distinctive. 2. Use your subliminal conscious mind to enter his reality. Feel the association. Send out constructive projections joining his whole persona into yours. 3. Think of what he might do right now. At that point, duplicate his actions, practices, and standards. With this activity, you can even copy your good examples. Suppose you need to be as effective as your supervisor, who is continually going far and wide. Do the above exercise, and you'll soon observe some amazing results. Chapter 3. Body Language when Negotiating. In almost every point in your life, you unconsciously do the art of negotiations. From haggling with your favorite flea market sales lady to lobbying for a deserved raise you may get from your boss, negotiations are being made daily in everyone's life. And almost everything in negotiation involves body language. It's true. As far as the genuine transaction in business is concerned, nonverbal communication is an essential viewpoint. Pursuing body developments of your partners and making the correct signals may spell the contrast amongst progress and disappointment in the transaction procedure. First impressions last a long time. When it comes to negotiating, the first move is the most essential to the process. Similar to what happens in the game of chess, if you move the white piece, you get the built-in advantage because you draw first blood. And the rival's next play and game plan is partially dependent on that important initial move. So understand what you're doing and have a plan. Start with positive body language. Let your enthusiasm come through. In a meeting, for instance, take a look at the other person's eyes with sincere interest. Your eyes can reveal a lot. Just in case you can't maintain eye contact, they could draw the conclusions that you're hiding something or you're not honest about something. Shake their hands. Not flimsily. Hold the hand firmly, but don't squeeze it. A common mistake is that we should squeeze the hand during this monumental time of the handshake. Don't squeeze at all. Just be firm. Use your knowledge of body language. During the negotiation process, look at their gestures. In the first chapter, you were shown how to recognize if people are interested in what you are saying, if they are casting doubts on you, if they are more open to accept your proposal, and even when they are lying. Be attentive in recognizing these signals. There is so much to it, way more than what we say with our mouths. Moreover, also be aware of your own actions. You may be showing signs of anxiety without realizing it. And your counterparts who probably also know body language might take advantage of the situation. So watch out for that. Chapter 4. When you're selling something. Research has indicated that the effect you have on others depends on what you say from your mouth, 7%, the manner in which you say it, 38%, and by your body language, 55%. Also, how you sound also sends a certain type of message, so 93% of your emotions are also conveyed without saying the actual words. This is very significant. This is also true in selling. In the real world, we sell tangible items and ideas. We sell ourselves and the way we present ourselves. People will seldom buy from someone they don't like. A concise way on how we can sell effectively is by simply using that old but very powerful arsenal known as body language. When you sell something, make sure you use postures, facial expressions, gestures, mannerisms, and your physical appearance so you can close the sale successfully. Most customers tend to buy when triggered by their senses. The most important thing is to do everything you can to positively affect their senses, and to constantly do this. People have to like you, know you, and trust you. Many people trust the picture anticipated by Saint Mother Teresa is a constructive picture. She utilized her identity to pass on an image of sacredness and genuineness. We bought the idea of that impression, and may consider her to be a holy, sweet person. Nonverbal communication also suggests that a man of very few words is a man you can trust. It's regularly not what you say that impacts others. It's what you don't say. And that's something a lot of people overlook. When you show empathy, calmness, or confidence, this says a lot more than just putting words together to create phrases. The first impression, as always, matters a lot. Many people have judgments ready immediately when they meet someone. The way they slouch, stand up, smile, frown, move, look at them, etc. These are so subtle that they often can't describe why they feel a certain way about a certain person. But those signals are picked up and send a specific vibe that makes people feel either comfortable or uncomfortable with someone. Regardless of whether you represent the deciding moment, a deal can actually rely on the nonverbal signs that you send in this pivotal moment of when you first meet people. And even all these things will depend on the culture, background, and previous experiences of each person. In Japan, for example, it's customary to bow, especially to those who are considered to have a higher status. But in the Netherlands, the equality culture is so prevalent that respect can only be earned by a certain kind of friendliness and casualness that counters being a stiff or overcompensating. In Thailand, the gesture called Y with your hands will depend on whom you greet, with it typically being lower to kids or inferiors and higher to those who are above you in social aspects. Women typically pick up on nonverbal communications even better. This is especially true when it comes to selling. Some companies only hire women, and even on the phone, they are less intimidating, more sexually attractive, and they often give a soothing feel men can't convey. It's not always fair, true, but that's the way the world works. And also, you can never compare your sales to those of a woman. I've applied for jobs where they chose a woman, particularly for the very reason that they ended up looking for a woman's voice on the telephone, or a female representative because they had more female customers. Here are several body language techniques to help make your sales sizzle. 1. You can quickly analyze a person's personality by studying his or her style in shaking hands. We've mentioned that, but let me emphasize it again. An assertive person holds your hand firmly when you shake his hand. On the other hand, an individual with little or no confidence gives a frail handshake. A person who wants to win your trust would usually shake your hand with his other hand covering the shake or holding your elbow. Adopt a handshake that is firm, yet not crushing. Convey confidence and professionalism, but not dominance. Don't be intimidating, but don't act inferior either. 2. Posture is another important part of body language. A slouching shoulder with your eyes looking on the ground can indicate lack of interest or being timid. Studying straight with your weight balanced on each foot gives you a more assured and relaxed look. Always maintain a straight body, whether you're standing or sitting. Anybody can change this in a second. 3. Match the straight up posture with a genuine facial expression. Don't wear sunglasses. Some people do this to look cool, but it doesn't make people trust you more. The client may think that you're hiding something, as he or she can't look into your eyes. When he looks straight in your eyes, he can tell if you're lying, so be transparent and open. Lay down your cards and throw the shades away. But be sure to avoid piercing looks to not intimidate anyone. 4. When you're doing sales calls and presentations, be sure to use sincere and open movements all the time. Do not cross your arms, as they can ruin the trust of your potential customer. They can interpret it as defensiveness. The outward and upward gestures of your hands are recommendable. If you lean back on the chair and place your hands at the back of your head, it may drive your client away as the sure sign of arrogance and a false sense of confidence. Don't ever smoke and blow the smoke into the air. I've seen this so many times. It radiates arrogance too. Meanwhile, if you place your hands on your waist, you are exuding positive confidence. 5. Don't point. Pointing at a client is equivalent to death wish in selling. Some people have done this and it's intimidating. It is as if you're waving your sales opportunity goodbye. Pointing is an aggressive act that can be interpreted as hostility, so don't do it. 6. In sales, here are signs that you're open for negotiations and are willing to compromise. Unbuttoning your jacket means you're ready to talk and listen to a counter offer. In a way, it's taking off some of your clothes, which shows you have nothing to hide. Removing your jacket or rolling your sleeves up is a very good sign for a client, as this means you're ready to decide or to give it a final price. You, as the seller, may also use body language as a tool to recognize and counteract any potential objections by the client. The usual scenes may include the following. 1. If the client's arms are crossed, it means he's not really interested, most of the time. You should use countermeasures like positive movements to cause them to uncross their arms and make them trust you, and for you to begin the sales approach. When his or her arms and legs are uncrossed and his hands are open, this is the best sign, as they are open to your ideas, and a sale is more likely to happen. I try not to do it, but I even do it when people try to sell me stuff I don't want. 2. Another good sales scenario is when the client mimics your gestures, like when you fix your hair and the client follows. It shows he or she is probably open and receptive to your ideas and more inclined to buy your idea or product. If this is the case, throw all your barrage of features and benefits and close the sale. Don't wait any longer. Sometimes people have heard enough and they just get ready to buy. This point is crucial as you can make or break the sale. It's tough recognizing these moments sometimes, but as you practice, you'll get better at it. 3. If the client covers his mouth, touches his nose, or the part near the eye, there's a high probability that you are losing the sale. This is, at least, what experts have concluded. Something you said or did might have discouraged him. But don't be discouraged. Do the selling process again, but this time, do it in a different way. Reassure the client that he is getting a great deal and encourage him to open up and share ideas. Ask questions to figure out what is going on in their heads. They might have unresolved concerns you need to discover first. Open your palms and unconsciously let him see you occasionally putting your palm to your chest. This signifies honesty. Then try to reach that positive sales atmosphere another time and eventually close the sale. This is the way to do it. 4. Always be alert to the signs from the client or customer. The client's body language may change from positive to suspicion. If that is the case, take it easy. Gather your wits, read your client's moods, and try to win him or her back with questions or something they want to hear. Always exhibit openness and sincerity. This is crucial. When the client crosses his arms and legs, this is a warning signal. Use mirroring techniques, discussed in another chapter. You should put as much effort as it takes into earning the trust of the client, so that you can ultimately close the deal. 5. In the worst cases where you are unable to close the sale, try to be professional and diplomatic at all times. Don't get offended, or at least don't show it. Thank the client for listening and shake his hand with sincerity. Sales cannot be achieved overnight, and you generally win some and lose some. Sometimes a person has to see a product several times before they remove all doubts and purchase it. Closing the presentation on a positive note will leave a good impression of you. Who knows? He might be your next positive client at some other time. Anyone can still become a prospect. Chapter 5. Body Language and Job Interviews. Applications happen online a lot more nowadays, but one thing remains the same. the body language of the applicant during job interviews, and how they make the first impression as they step inside that interview room. This is so important that it cannot be overlooked. Your kind of person. You will be assessed by the type of person you are and pretend to be. Based on your body language, an interviewer can determine whether you are confident or not, if you are the shy type or the friendly type, if you are a loner or a team player, or even if you are telling the truth or not. And based on this, he or she will determine if you're a good fit for the job. They can typically see if you can handle the job, if you are devoted, or if you're someone who can get along with the other employees in that company. When they ask their questions, the interviewer will not only pay attention to what you say, but also on how you say it and what attitude you have. The interviewer generally will find responses from you that match their qualifications. How you can decode the body language of your interviewer in relation to your body language will determine the thin line if you get the job or not. So practice in front of the mirror. Proper gestures in job interviews. As mentioned in previous chapters, don't cross your arms. Just place your hands loosely on your lap or just put them on the armrest of your chair. By doing this, you will also be able to make your hand movements to support what you're saying. While speaking, you should nod your head sporadically to expand on the subject or to give more meaning to what you're saying. This shows that you're following along and listening. Hand movements can also help to spice up the conversation. The interviewer would think that you are comfortable with the interview process if you make hand gestures. So that helps too. Too many hand movements at the beginning of the interview may not be a good idea. If you're all over the place, you may be conceived as being wild and unorganized. But you don't have to be a stiff either. Try to be yourself and stay in a safe middle of it. The best way is to add them gradually throughout the interview. Be aware of your interviewer's hand movements too. If they use their hands a lot to make a point or to clarify something, you can do the same thing as well. Remember mirroring? When they don't make many movements, do the same thing as they're doing. Adjust your gestures to that of the interviewer to establish rapport and trust. Be attentive to unintentional gestures that you may make every once in a while due to tension. Some of the acts that may irritate the interviewer could include tapping your fingers across the desk, shuffling your feet, biting your nails, toying with a pen. These are a big no-no. Avoid them. Body language of your interviewers. Observing the body language of your interviewers is as essential as being aware of your own body movements. You should see what they're doing and try to read the signs. This gives you a better understanding of what they think of you and what kind of person they are. Remember that you're not just there to impress them, but also to see if they are the kind of person you want to work with. You don't want to accept a job that will make you miserable. For example, if you do something that displeases the interviewers, they might show their annoyance through body language. When they sigh, shake their heads, look down, or fold their arms and lean back, you can take that as a sign of disapproval or irritability. And instead of being scared, try to adjust and think fast how you can gain their favor again. Then again, you don't always have to gain favor, but instead be the best you can be. And then, if they hate you for it, it's not always a bad thing to not get the job. The interviewers might not consciously notice that they're exhibiting their body movements at first, so you still have a chance to shift your strategy. Chapter 6. Body Language in Meetings. If you are in charge of a meeting, you should figure out if the attendees are interested in what you're saying, or if they agree with your ideas. Early detection of boredom or disagreement matters in order for you to change your presentation, tone, or animation to a different proposal when necessary. If you notice many attendees reclining back in their chairs or simply staring blankly without blinking an eye, it often means they're not interested in the topic being discussed. They aren't paying as much attention as they could, so perhaps something needs to grab that attention to make it more entertaining. Do not prolong the discussion or do something that will keep the monotony. When the attendees nod constantly, it means they're agreeing with what you're saying. This is a good sign, unless they're faking it, of course, but that rarely happens. When an attendee breathes deeply, it probably means that he wants to interrupt the conversation and express his point of view. So many presenters overlook this and just keep going with their tunnel vision approach, but research has shown that most people learn more from opening up and making comments. Observe also other body gestures, such as changing the intonation of the voice, frowning, looking down at the ground, drumming fingers in the table, exiting the meeting room. You should detect the feelings and attitude of each attendee and keep in mind how this can affect the reaction of other attendees. If the topic being discussed becomes too hot to handle, it could be more suitable to reschedule the meeting at some other time. Some emotional people exhibit great facial expressions and body gestures. Recognizing those early in the meeting can prevent undesirable emotional outbreak to happen. Chapter 7. The Body Language in Flirting. In the past centuries, male and female courtship signals have been studied elaborately, and the basic conclusions are that these signals are completely unconscious. The more you consciously understand the signals, the more successful you will be when dating and reaching your goal, whether it is the man or woman of your dreams. This has always been true. To master the art of successful flirting, you have to have some degree of confidence. You need to be yourself, or else you will look deceitful or desperate. People pick up on these things pretty quickly. Flirting can be utilized in just about anything, not just in attracting the opposite sex, but also in attaining just about anything you want in your life, like using sexual attraction to get something done. And this doesn't mean walking around half naked or sexually explicit moves, but just flirtatious ways of talking and moving can sometimes easily make a person give in and give you a deal, a present, or allow you to do something they didn't at first. This can be described as good flirting. Good flirting should be done with an exact comprehension of what you really want, coupled with positive sensations. I have interviewed some successful men and women in the field of network marketing and advertising in their 30s and 40s. I will give you some of their tips on how you can put good flirting to your advantage. 1. Don't worry too much about whether you're making a good impression or not. Instead, analyze how you can make the other person feel good about themselves. Boost their ego, smile, and compliment them a lot without making it too fake. By doing this, you will get the feedback you're expecting. Soon, you will make the connection. 2. Flirting can help you make friends or impress a client if you cause yourself to be approachable. Smiling can make you appear friendly, but not just through your mouth. Smile through your eyes. 3. Remember that you can't attract people just by sitting or standing like a big stick in the mud. There will be cases when you will come across someone who gets a little bit too close for comfort feel, or someone who makes you feel you are already invading their privacy. Whatever you do, you would get a so-called vacuum reaction. You may be able to avoid this by using gentle moves and by calibrating the person's responses to you. Be aware of these signals. Mouths getting larger, the lips swell, eyes widen, pupils dilate, skin flushes and changes color, muscles around the mouth move, among others. 4. You should always be persistent, but not pushy. Flirting works best when you are patient. By being such, you will have room for improvement if at first you are not achieving the desired results. If you fail at first, do it again the second time, third time, and just keep trying. Try different approaches until you understand what will work best for you. If you get rejected, don't give up. This goes without saying. To err is human, and nobody's perfect. 5. Practice in the mirror. Only then can you make it perfect. That's a tip I got from someone. This is even more true in meeting friends and prospects, because flirting may include undesired actions and attention, which can put you in a bad light. You might be spontaneous in your actions, but you can't guard yourself if you're already overdoing it. And I assume you don't want to be in that situation. Try practicing with your close friends and ask for feedback. 6. Always make the first move. Opportunities knock only once. So if you want something or even someone, go for it now. Let go of your inhibitions, but remember to apply positive flirting techniques. Let your body attract. Do you understand why some seem to have an easier time attracting the opposite sex? Here's what you can do to catch the eye of your potential sweetheart. 1. Smile a lot. Even if you have problems in the back of your mind, people don't have to know unless they ask about them. This is not fake. It just means you try to help them have a good time by not being a grouch. 2. Be funny. Learn to laugh at petty matters. People love to be with those who can turn any situation into a funny setting. And it's not just about making smarty remarks, but also about laughing at other people's jokes. A gentle hit on the shoulders is a good thing if you're a woman. 3. Maintain eye contact, but not to the extent that it gets creepy. Your eyes are probably the most expressive parts of your body. Eye contact also establishes a bond between two people. They would naturally feel more comfortable in each other's company. 4. Nod your head. By nodding, you signify your approval, and you encourage the other party to continue talking. It shows you're listening and agreeing. You give assurance that your loved one is doing okay. 5. Be open, physically. Do not cross your arms across the chest or hold obstructive objects, such as a food, between the two of you. Put your hands on your sides, and if possible, put your palms up to convey openness. Knowing if the other person is interested. Sometimes we have to read the signs better to understand if the special someone we've been eyeballing for a while is also interested in us. Here's how to find out if a woman is attracted to you. If she looks down in a way, she's interested, because she's flirtatiously being shy in a typical feminine way. Most women flirt in a submissive, surrendering way, and they want a man to win their hearts. If she looks to the left or right, she's not interested, but looking at something else. But how can you notice a person's being attracted to you? Just by observing body signs? A girl, for example, is flirting if she shows the following body language. 1. Her lips show it. She wears a big smile with her teeth exposed and with a relaxed face. She bites her lips and shows her tongue out of anxiety. Or she licks her lips and touches the front of her teeth. Feeling attracted to someone typically comes with a certain nervousness, because people are very concerned about what the other person thinks of them. 2. Her eyes show it too. She looks at you with a deep stare and pupils are dilated. She may raise her eyebrows flirtatiously and give you a wink from a distance, or when she's talking to you. And of course, the most common one, she blinks her eyes more than average and shows you those fluttery eyelashes. 3. She may stroke her hair. This too is a certain type of submissiveness, and at the same time an anxiety tic, depending on the girl. She may push her fingers through her hair, twirl it around her fingers, or throw her hair back off her shoulders. 4. She might show more skin on her clothing. The hem of her skirt goes up a little further, exposing her legs, or she shows her legs, cleavage, or shoulders on purpose. These things can be very subtle, but most girls know exactly what they're doing. 5. You can observe the way she sits. She sits with an open leg or crossing her legs in a manner where her thighs can be seen, or her legs are rubbing against each other in a certain way. 6. Her hands reflect how she feels as well. She may rub her wrists up and down in a suggestive manner. She rubs her chin or touches her cheek, and maybe in a bold way, may even unconsciously touch her breast. She plays with objects on the table, fondles keys, and rubs a drinking glass in a flirting manner. Guys are a lot simpler and more direct. How does a guy show his interest in a woman? It's much easy. Maintaining eye contact, smiling frequently, and exhibiting confidence through his actions are the main ways. He may stare at her, open his legs, or have a certain I don't care attitude, while still showing off or bragging a little. The touch. A simple touch to someone else's body can have 100 different meanings. It depends on how you perceive the power of touch in body language. Everyone has the basic need to be touched. We all need to be touched and have at least some physical contact with other people to survive. As we mature, we continue to heed that need of touching and being touched. Touch can convey respect and trust, and is also a way to differentiate power between people. It conveys the message of how we look at each other, from a psychological perspective, of course. Touching as an aspect of body language that can be a powerful tool if done with finesse, with precision, and with accuracy. It would be useful for you to learn the art of touching to send the right signals to another person. Timing matters, as some people will respond negatively if you touch them too fast or too much. It has to be done at the right time and in an appropriate manner, or the result would not be one that you would expect. Be aware to the circumstances and the mood in which you and your potential partner find yourself. You can see the appropriateness of your touch and your ability to adjust to the situation by how your receiver reacts to it. If the person seems to lean or get closer to you, you may have made the right move. But if the person seems to back off or flinches, it means that you didn't do it the right way. And so you have to make some adjustments. This has been Body Language: Secrets for Dating, Job Interviews, and Selling, written by Jaden Haywards, narrated by Jason Burkhead. Copyright 2018, Jaden Haywards. Production copyright 2018, Jaden Haywards.